What's up, y'all? I got super low battery, so I'm gonna use this as motivation to make this quick and direct. So it was just Valentine's Day yesterday. There's a whole list of reasons that Valentine's Day is corrupt. Of course, America, what it loves to do with the purity of spirit and love and all those beautiful things that we should celebrate is commodify them, superficialize, objectify some kind of idea that can leave people into never-ending loops in order to sell. If one is not whole, one is not of a sense of abundance and connection to the infinite source of all life within them, then they're constantly outside, externalizing, trying to compare their experience of reality to some superficially sold image, and therefore believing they are not enough as they are, that they need more. And the way this translates into Valentine's Day culture, people are constantly given this image of what romantic love is. This fairy tale programming, we like to call it, this Disney programming, right? Of finding the perfect one and everything just being beautiful and romantic and sweet. And so people are constantly seeking that. And yeah, this image is sold to us, which keeps us disconnected from the truth of what love teaches us and the truth of what relationship and the whole purpose for being on earth in these separate bodies is, which is to know more of ourselves as love, more of ourselves as the one through the mirror of another being. And so love and relationship and romance has been so distorted, so corrupt, so misunderstood throughout our history, which is why humanity is in such a fucked and suffering place, because the very basis of what creates humanity, which is the polarity, which is the love and the co-creation of the seeming opposite poles, there's been so much confusion and so much misunderstanding in between what that purpose actually is. So we've been in a cycle of using each other in order to overcompensate from a sense of disconnection from love, which is actually the eternal nature of what we are. We are already whole. We are already love. We are already connected. But because we don't feel that, because we grow up in a society and a culture that doesn't actually make us feel that support from the earth, from our parents, from our community, then we overcompensate for that lack of actually feeling the love that we are, the love that we're supposed to naturally feel in connection with all of nature as reflected to us ideally by our community and our friends and everyone we know being beloveds, being a part of our family. We overcompensate for that feeling of not knowing ourselves as always connected to love, always in love, which is love being the fundamental principle of unity, which includes all within it, beyond the egoic mental evolution. We overcompensate that with our mind tries to hook onto external people that we believe will be the source of that love for us and make us finally feel whole and complete, overcompensating for those deeper traumas and wounds of actually feeling abandoned by life. And so when life takes away those people that we project to be our saviors of the sense of incompleteness and our sense of not feeling love, when life inevitably we get our heart broken, the people that we thought would complete us, we are then given the true opportunity, the true divine doorway into knowing what true love is, into true union with ourself. So it's actually a gift when life breaks our heart, because it then challenges us to let go of any way we've been externalizing love and to grieve and to feel into that depth of our own longing to know love and know where we haven't been meeting ourselves with love. We get to illuminate the gaps in our awareness where we haven't met ourselves in love and learn to therefore become free once and for all from these scripts running the show of our life, which believe that we're incomplete. And this self-love thing is no joke, and it is the solution, the realization to all human suffering. Right now, the reason that I'm more inspired to talk about this is because Kanye West is, God bless him, on behalf of the collective, he's audacious enough to go through his process of heartbreak and of longing and of obsession with what he believes to be the object of his longing. And you can see it's very immature, it's very childish in the way that he does it, and he knows that too, in the way that him and his ex-partner Kim have broken up, and he's publicly like trying to win her back and making it a whole big public display and show, like this whole him trying to get her back. And it's obvious to see that it's not mature, it's not balanced, it's not coming from his true depth, because life is trying to initiate him, as it's trying to initiate all of us and anyone who's having their heart broken, into becoming truly mature, sovereign, as whole beings on themselves, and no longer acting with the neurosis of this obsession of trying to seek love outside, which isn't us actually acting from our full authentic agency, from our full wholeness of who we actually can be when we know ourselves as whole and complete. And I just want to say this because a lot of people are exasperating Kanye West's condition, and everyone will offer him wisdom. I've seen he recently made a post where his cousin gave him a beautiful letter saying, you know, this is your time to act from a place of beauty, act from a place of grace, act from a place of goodness, rather than fall into your lower self. And from that place, you will attract her. There's a beautiful comment from a really powerful spiritual channel that many of us follow, Source Messages, on Kanye West's recent post that says, brother, come back to the place in your heart of fulfillment and wholeness that attracted her, and then you will attract her again. But the point is not to attract her again. The point is not to find love and wholeness and peace as some strategy to get someone outside of us to come to us and complete us. So it's a pity, and it's a dilution of the actual process of self-development when we are doing it for some external goal, when we are making ourselves better in order to find someone outside, in order to attract someone outside that will complete us, because there's always going to be this fundamental assumption of our need for wholeness outside of us, which won't allow the authentic self-development to complete itself, which is a process we're all incarnated for. And therefore life will have to take away that which we think will complete us externally, so we can realize that internal self-love. And so what I wish for Kanye West and for all beings that he is currently being the collective voice, the collective channel on behalf of, to really understand and take seriously, is that we're not here to make ourselves better and to find grace and to find beauty in order to get something outside of us. We should do it for ourselves. We should take these experiences of heartbreak and of loss as opportunities to work on ourselves, not for some external means, but for true liberation. And true liberation is love. True liberation is knowing ourselves as love. And when the mind hooks onto something outside that it believes itself to be the source of our love or the reason for living, I can't live without her, I need her in my life, this will complete me. When we're doing that, we're not actually coming from a place of love. We're actually regurgitating conditioning. We're speaking from not a place of wholeness and authenticity, which is love. Love is wholeness and authenticity. It's who we truly are. When all parts of us are there, authentically there, we are love. But when we're coming from this place of, oh, I'm in love with this person, it's actually obsession and infatuation that is running programs, it's running conditionings programmed into us that are actually escaping the process of finding what true love is. So the more we focus on something external, that's actually it's not true love, it's actually our ego. It's a defense mechanism from feeling the pain and the grief of actually finding what is underneath that heartbreak within us that needs tending to, that needs to feel loved, that doesn't feel whole, that is wounded, that is scared, that is somewhere within it feels the primordial abandonment of coming into this earth and not feeling loved, not feeling supported. You call it the mother or father wound when it comes to that deepest level of being a baby in this world and not feeling like the mother and the father are fully there to support you, because we're all imperfect humans figuring it out together. So for example, because Kanye West is the public example that is on behalf of humanity right now, showing how messy this process is, when we encourage Kanye West to make it about his wife, we are encouraging him to distract himself, to grasp onto something in order to escape feeling the actual process of healing that wants to happen. When we think that the healing, that the completion of the process is in getting the object, then we're not understanding the deeper spiritual process that's happening, which is actually God or Christ consciousness wanting to be realized, wanting to be known as the unconditional love, which doesn't need to possess, which doesn't believe that there's a sense of lack or anything. And that love truly is a divine thing. That love truly is the presence of the divine within us, the presence of the divine mother and father, knowing ourselves to be whole with. And we come into relationships or into attractions with beings in this world who mirror to us our internal feminine. So this is or masculine, whatever they represent. So right now, this is an opportunity for Kanye West, as the example that I'm using is because that's what's in front of all our faces right now. Kim to him is a symbol, is a representation, part of his own feminine that he doesn't have a cultivated connection with. Obviously, if you have some level of integration there and you have done that work to come into right relation and union with that part of yourself, then you can see how disconnected he is from his own feminine. And it's not actually coming from a sincere place of love for her. It's coming from a place of lusting after the image of the feminine in order to not have to face the actual pain of what his own feminine is going through and that disconnect there. And only when we release the idea that there's anyone outside that is literally here to complete us, and we see them as mirror reflections for archetypal energetic aspects of ourself, and it's not heady. This is practical work. This is emotional work. I'm speaking to it very direct and very quickly right now because I battery 4% battery left. But Kanye West's work and all of our work that I pray for all of us to find is to embrace heartbreak and to embrace the disillusionment of relationships, external relationships that we thought would fulfill us. Embrace those as the actual gifts to develop the relationship with ourselves and with the infinite God of love that is our source and that is us, within us. So that sense of separation is no longer there. So we're no longer acting from that place of woundedness and creating these situations which cause us pain and heartbreak only so we can realize the freedom of being there for ourselves, being the love for ourselves that we never had growing up, that we were taught by this culture of externalization and superficial commodification and objectification is something outside that looks a specific way. Because true love is fucking hard. True love is not some fancy thing. And true love is what is calling us to evolve as expressions for it, as sovereign expressions from it, to be truly loving to ourselves. To be truly loving to ourselves, to fall in love with ourselves, and to stay there. To not fall in love with the image of a person, but to fall in love and get lost in love and find ourselves in love rather than the idea of something else. As long as we're holding on to an image, that's not true love, because love is all embracing and love is who we are. So as long as we're holding an image of what love is, then we are somehow afraid of facing the parts in us that don't actually feel love, that we're holding on to that image in order to not have to face. And so this is an invitation for us all at this time to grow up to the next level of maturity so we can be that harmonious co-creative alchemy and embodiment for our children to know themselves as love through doing that inner work within, between the inner masculine and feminine, seeing all of life as a reflection of ourselves, to know our true essence is love, seeing all that shows up as a captivator of love within us, as a reminder of who we already are and what we have the potential to know ourselves to be within, so that we can create a world that reflects that externally from that sovereign place, meeting from a place of wholeness, from a place of being completely okay with being alone, and then not trying to possess the other, but celebrating the other in their freedom and sovereignty, exactly how they want to be. True unconditional love celebrates everything as it is without trying to possess or make it according to one's image. And at that, because I just wanted to come through with that transmission, because that's really important to figure out. And God bless Kanye West for being a perfect public display of something that is happening for us all, a deeper process of facing the heartbreak that we all have within us, that we all have to meet, and we all have to learn to hold space for, because external relationships can beautifully mirror to us new templates of potential intimacy and love that we can know within ourselves. And it goes deeper and far greater than any idea that we've been given, any image we've been given of someone that can complete us in a specific way. Love is our nature, and love is what we are. And if we're holding on to something outside that we think defines that sense of love, we fail to experience the true unconditional bliss of love that is always here for us and what we are, and remembering doing the work within to reflect onto humanity now. I love you. You are loved. You are love. Blessings and happy Love Day every day. In other cultures outside of America, they don't call it Romance Day. It's Love Day. It's Family Day. It's Friendship Day. So I bless you with knowing yourselves as the beloved, and knowing the beloved in every day and all beings as one.